Hi, my name is Victoria. This is my YouTube channel. Not sure what it will be, but today we're going to do an oil change on the 92 Mazda Miata. It has 149,000 miles. So we did get a high mileage oil, and it does take 5W30, but if you're not doing a Miata, you might want to check which ones yours does. And we do have the oil filter, which we'll be using to change out. So we will get to it. Okay, so today we'll be using a ratchet. For this car, it does need a 11/16 socket. We use a funnel when we put the oil back in, and we may or may not need the filter wrench, depending on how hard it is to come off, and then a rag just to clean up the mess. And as you can see on the car, we do have it up on ramps with the emergency brake on to avoid it from going anywhere. Okay, so we are underneath the car now. This is the oil pan right here, and this is the oil pan screw that we'll be taking off for the oil to drain out. And I do have an oil pan set up here for it to drop into. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the camera to let that happen. Okay, so we're using the ratchet to take off the oil pan screw. First, you kind of just have to break it loose. Make sure your ratchet's set on to loosen. Okay, and once it's loosened, it gives you a little wiggle room. Go ahead and just unscrew it the rest of the way. As you get closer to it being off, the oil is going to start coming out more. And try not to drop the screw in the oil pan. And we're just going to let it go ahead and drain. It is hot right now. Not too hot, but it is hot, so it is coming out a little faster than it would if it was a little cooler. So once it gets a little low like that and it's just barely dripping, we'll go ahead and put the screw back in. We will want to hand tighten it at first. Once you get to the drip to stop, you just want to clean up the area a little bit so that you can kind of see afterwards that there's no oil dripping. Make sure the screw's on. So we'll hand tighten it. And once it's fully hand tightened, we'll turn the ratchet to the R if you have an R, or until it clicks the other way. And we'll go ahead and tighten it. Now you don't want it too tight because you want to be able to get it off next time. But it is tight on there. And then we will move up to the oil filter, which is actually above the car for this one. So go ahead and I'm gonna put my oil pan around here because that's where the oil should drop. Popping open the car to open the hood now so I can get to the oil filter. So on the Mazda Miata, well, for this year, at least 1992, the oil filter is down underneath. So this is the valve cover up top. So if you look right in here, see if we can get you a good shot. So it's right here, underneath it. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew it and let the oil drain into the pan, and I will show you it draining. Okay, so for the filter that we put in last time, it's very slippery, so we're not able to get it off by hand. So you will use the oil filter wrench. All you have to do is connect it to a ratchet and put the ratchet on loosen. I'm gonna see if I can get it without the extender, but I might need the 3-inch extender here. But we're gonna try it without first. Out. Drain it. Small maneuvers here. Oil filter is in hand. So here's the oil filter. You do want to make sure that this ring is on the filter that you took out. If it's still there, you're going to have to pop it out with a pry bar or a screwdriver, something small just to pop it out of the paste that it is now, flathead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the oil pan, pour the rest of this oil in there, and then put the new oil filter back in. Old filter is out, new filter is here in hand. What we want to do is first make sure that the gasket is on here, which it is, and we're just going to put some oil around the gasket. And then some people, they do put oil in their filter, but for the sake of this car and where the oil filter is located, I will not do that because it will pour over the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in back where we were. We want to clean up around the oil filter area a little bit, just so that it's not so messy and that the gasket sits on without any debris. So I'm going to clean that up now. And then all we do is stick the oil filter down there where it goes. There's a little thread where you screw it in. And you just want to screw it until it's hand tightened. You don't want to tighten it more than that because you will ruin the threads. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tools away, and then we're going to get the car off the ramps and put the oil in. We don't want to fill up the oil now while it's up here on the ramps because it's leaning, and we're not going to get an accurate measure. So we're going to go ahead and push it off the ramps right now. Okay, so we do need to put some new oil in, and we do need the funnel to do it so it doesn't make a mess. So we'll first go ahead and take off the oil cap here. It just screws off. Place it somewhere where you won't forget it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the oil in. I have some leftover oil from last time, and then I'll break open the new one. Okay, we're going to fast forward to the oil putting in process because this funnel is really slow and it's going to be long and boring for you to watch. Okay, so I put in a little over 3 quarts of oil. We're going to check and see what the level's at to make sure we have it near a certain level. I'll show you on the dipstick. So the dipstick usually always is here in yellow. It's for this car, it's right here. Some cars it's closer to the front. So it does have some on there. It's a little hard to see since it's new oil, but it's about at this level right here in between low and full. Each dipstick's gonna look different. This one has an F and an L for full and low, and you want it somewhere in between that. So right now we're at somewhere in between, but we want to make sure we wipe off the dipstick because the first reading is not the most accurate. So we'll take a second reading to check and just put it in, pull it out, and the dipstick is saying about the same thing, right in the middle of F and L. So we're at about halfway. What we're gonna do right now is run the car for a good couple minutes, let the oil warm up. Oil is best to check when it's warm because it is a little thinner and flowing through the car better. Also, since we didn't put any oil in the oil filter, there does need to be oil transferred into that. So we're gonna go ahead and warm up the car a little bit, and we'll go back and check the dipstick in a few minutes. Okay, so we filled up the rest of it. We're gonna check, make sure the level is the right level. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it down, and I'll put it back in. And the reading is at about the halfway mark again. And since we know the car is warmed up, we can leave it like that for now. And we'll check the oil back in probably a week or so. And I am going to take the old oil, pour it back into the old can, and take it down to my local AutoZone. They'll take it for you for free. Don't throw it in the trash or down the drain or nothing. Make sure you dispose of it properly. And thank you for watching. I owe my friend a car wash now because I used her car. And like and subscribe if you would like to. Like I said, I don't know what this channel will be, but I got many interesting hobbies, so we'll find something to do. Thank you.